we're just going to do a quick round table so that you can give a brief introduction and a one-liner about who you are and what you do.
Dr. Brian Grossman, and mental resilience and leadership training.
Sydney Riker, president of selfpublishing.com. We help people self-publish books.
I'm Roger Wakefield. I'm just a plumber, but now I'm an intensive influencer.
Hey everybody, my name is Albert Corey. I guess the world knows me as a tax man, where we show small businesses how to put more ching ching and bling bling in your pocket.
Hi everyone, my name is Getty Hill. I am the founder of GFX Labs and Oku Trade, a cryptocurrency exchange on the blockchain.
Okay, perfect. So the purpose of this panel today, we're going to talk about growing and scaling the businesses. So one of the first questions I have is, what is one common mistake that you see entrepreneurs make when they're growing and scaling their business? Let's put that over to you.
Disorganization, no plan, and throwing spaghetti up against the wall.
Focus. Many people get distracted. They're running in a million directions. You should be selling one offer to one avatar until you have product market fit, which is over $1 million. And then you can move on and expand to other products.
To you, Roger?
Most entrepreneurs are so busy with their business, they don't invest in themselves. We don't know what we're doing. We don't even know what we don't know. And when we start a business and we don't invest in ourselves and we don't reach out for coaching, for mentorship, for training, we get completely left behind.
Mm-hmm. Mine is that most people think they can start their business themselves. They can go on the whatever state corporate website and go, oh, I can open up my business myself. Well, the problem is I've seen people do it, and 90% of them do it wrong. And because they do it wrong, they're starting to pay more money to the IRS.
Mm-hmm. Hiring, that's the most important thing when you start a company, making sure you find the right talent you want to surround yourself with. I've seen a lot of folks screw this up in the early days, bring their friend in, oh, it'll be fun, etc. And all of a sudden, the culture of your firm is misaligned, and who knows what's happening. You got to find the right people early on, and you have to prioritize talent all the way through the business.
Yeah, and I think the key theme that we see there is a lot of people make the mistake very early on of not actually engaging with people, not bringing people in to help them. Being a solopreneur is very, very difficult. And the more that you can bring people in at early stages, the more likely you are to actually succeed. So talk to me about, in your experience, what has been some of the most instrumental people who have come into your life to help you to grow and scale your business with regard to partnerships or coaching?
You want me to name specific names?
Yeah, you can name a name if you want, and also what impact it's had on you.
Well, early in my psychology career, before I went to grad school, met a gentleman named Tony Robbins, and it was Fire Walk with me. And I made the mistake of saying, can you mentor me as we walk across and go with me? And he said, sure. And halfway across, he said, the price for this is you need to walk 40 other people across. So I went across hot coals 40 times, and that proved to me I could do my dissertation. Of course, here, meeting Todd, Bill Walsh has been life-changing so far, and it's only been midway through day 2. But I also have been coached by Corey Poirier and a couple of other great mentors in psychology.
And what impact has that had on you?
It's taught me to do what I've done here. Todd mentioned it yesterday. Meet everybody. If somebody doesn't want to talk to me or offer a bit of advice or tells me they can't work with me, I'm no worse off than I am right now. But if they give me one nugget that I can take and move forward, then that's what I'm going to do and take action on it. And so what I've learned over time, I've procrastinated, and after this, I'm going to put everything I've learned into an action plan and move forward, and that's how you just keep going. And as they said this morning, not incrementally. Have a long-term plan, and I'm going to take big swings. And that's why I'm here. Went to a networking event. Gary saw me for 30 seconds and invited me to be on this panel.
When I was 20 years old, I moved across the country from Montana to California on a one-way ticket because I couldn't purchase a return home. I didn't have enough money. And I met someone at a restaurant, and I convinced her to let me move in with her that night. And she ended up being a very lucky connection, a multimillionaire. And I ended up living with her for the next year, and she's the one who convinced me not to become a high school PE teacher and convinced me to actually pursue business. And in that, what it provided for me was so much wisdom from one singular person, one singular connection, if we're willing to go stoke the flame and put ourselves out there. And when I moved in with her, she taught me about, so many things, but how to be coachable. So if you're in the audience and you're looking for these nuggets of wisdom from these people, the best thing that you can do that will make them want to give you advice is to implement what the heck they're telling you to do. That's the best gift that you can give someone, is to implement the wisdom that they're willing to give you at these events. So go up to the person you're scared to go up to. Who knows, maybe they'll let you move in with them.
So Raja, I'm going to ask you a different question. Having built so much success on YouTube and grown so quickly, talk to me about the importance of building a strong team.
Building a strong team is amazing because even though I'm on YouTube and people see me all the time and they ask me, well, how do you edit? How do you do this? How do you do this? We do it very well. I don't do it very well, but I have an amazing team around me. You see Colton down here running around. You got Squirt running around in the back somewhere. I hate to say this, I don't do a lot. I show up, I look good, I put makeup on. I mean, man. And I don't do that at home. I do my hair, and I do my hair myself, just so y'all know. But the thing is getting the right team around you. And it's not just the people that you work with on the same level. It's not just the people that work with you. It's the people you hire to learn from and work with. And I think that's probably the biggest part of the team. I walked into a social media marketing conference at the age of 54. That's old.
Give that a round of applause.
Okay? But at the age of 54, I'm at a social media marketing conference. Y'all know what I went to learn? Facebook. That's what social media was. And this is 6 years ago. I walked in to learn Facebook, and I'm walking on a corridor, and there's a sign that says, get in front of your customers using video. And I thought, wow, we could do that. So I walk in, I sit on the front row, and this is where being open-minded and listen to everything that's said. The guy says, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And I want y'all to think about that. The second largest search engine in the world. It's owned by the largest search engine in the world, which is Google. And I almost walked out of the room. But I looked back up, and I thought, you know what? Apparently he knows something. And I took 3 pages of notes. Sometimes the best people on your team are the people you hire. Bill Walsh, Austin, my YouTube coach. Y'all ever heard of Mr. Beast? We should have the same YouTube coach. Get the best people around you. It pays off.
And Albert, what about you? When it comes to like tax and accounting, I know that you've built an incredible team in Florida, but for the business owner who's trying to grow and scale, what are the key people that they need to make sure their financials are being taken care of?
I think a couple of questions I will say is, do not do QuickBooks yourself. QuickBooks came up with a statistic. Raise your hand if you want to get 15 hours a month in your life back to either go make money or go hang out with your loved ones and friends. Thank you. Then don't do QuickBooks it yourself. And number 2, repeat after me. Are you all like small business owners? Say yes? Yes. Then don't do TurboTax. Do your tax return. Because guess what? Last thing I learned after 140,000 returns later, QuickBooks or TurboTax is not going to talk back to you if you have a question.
So when it comes to the crypto space, right, we have to be super, there's a lot of fluff online, a lot of social media. Talk to us about when you're helping people with their crypto, what are some of the key things that you talk to them about, the key team people that they need around to help them?
Yeah, a lot of it's about understanding the problem set that the user has. We're a consumer-facing company. We have users coming to our platform who might have a few $100s in their wallet. They might have millions of dollars in their wallet. And we have to serve a gigantic range of these individuals. And it's really important on our team side that we have the language and the copy on our end to be able to talk to the whole segment and be able to say, hey, I know what functionality you're looking for here versus someone else. And also, it's a really global platform. We have folks, only 20% of our platform is Americans. We have to translate a lot of things. So it's really building the right group of people within the team to say, okay, if you have this sort of question, we're going to answer it this way. It's going to go to this person and vice versa. And how do you scale this with across other people? And it really comes down to just making sure at the end of the day, we're connecting with the user. Although it's the crazy world of crypto, everyone still wants good customer service. Everyone still wants to be, listened to, their questions answered, even if it's not relevant exactly to what we're doing on our platform. As long as you make someone happy, that at the end of the day, they're going to come back and, use your platform again.
Yeah, and I think that's a very important point when it comes to growing and scaling your business. And we touched on it here with product market fit, but it's also knowing what your customer actually wants and needs and being able to provide that to them simply, right? So, and that's very important. And one of the key ways for you to be able to help and grow and scale your business is by leveraging social media. And I know a lot of people have been on here talking about the importance of social media. Ryan, how do you leverage social media to grow and scale your business?
I use an AI program that is branded to my content, and in a year and a half, nobody has asked me if my social media content is AI generated. And I do short bursts and long texts, and of course I was listening to the speaker before, so I'm going to change that, but I keep it simple and short and on message. So my messaging is leadership 4 times a day. Come to a free event on Facebook or LinkedIn once a week, and then every 2 weeks I'll make an offer.
Okay, good.
I think when it comes to social media, there's really 2 important things to get clear on. The first is, who are you? And the second is, who is your avatar? If you don't know who you are and what you stand for on social media, everything you do is going to seem so corny. How many of you feel guilty of that? You're like, I actually don't know exactly who I am, how I want to show up on social media. I definitely do. There's even times now that I do, and I've been doing it for 11 years. So getting really clear on what you stand for and remembering that you are the brand, right? Just like Steve Jobs, when I think of Apple, even though he's been long gone, sadly, we still think Steve Jobs. Become the Steve Jobs of your company. People will associate you with what you're doing, right? The second thing is your avatar. You must get clear on who the heck it is and what language they speak, and stop speaking the way you want to speak and start speaking to that person. So that's how I run my social media. hopefully that's helpful for you guys.
So Roger, over to you. Having built over 100 million video views right now, what do you think the key component to being successful on social media is?
I like what Sydney talked about. I've got a brand book. Guys, I'm a plumber. I want y'all to remember that as I talk to y'all. I'm a plumber. I've got a 43-page brand book that talks about who I am, what I believe, what I don't believe, what I will not talk about, what I refuse to sponsor. How many of y'all in here would turn down a $1 million sponsorship? Because I did. Because it was a brand, I'm like, I do not believe in this. Okay? You have to be that sure about who you are, what you'll talk about, what you won't talk about, and that will completely change your life. Because when I started this, I was a plumber. When I started this, I was running a plumbing company. We sold the plumbing company because we grew so big on social media that I didn't have time to do both properly. Sold the plumbing company, sold it again, and getting ready to sell it again. If y'all want to know more about that, talk to me later. But it grew me so big, literally getting in the elevator here, people are like, oh my God, I know you from somewhere. Guys, I'm from Dallas. And they're like, I see your videos all the time. This can completely change your life if you use social media the right way. And I'll talk about being an intensive influencer. You can influence for good or you can influence for bad. I could have taken that $1 million and told y'all that there's a product out there that is, oh my gosh, so amazing. And every one of y'all are going to hate me for it. Be careful what you say yes to. It may come back and bite you.
So, Albert, I see you doing a lot of videos on social media talking to people about tax. And so what do you think has been one of the key components to you growing on social media?
If anybody ever seen me, I am me. Yeah, I have now a VA, but everybody knows me. You do you. Even if you have AI and VAs, you just got to go out there at least once or twice a week and say, hey, I'm me, and show that you're a real person. You know, I'm the guy who started 40 years ago doing the left foot, right foot marketing system. If you want to know what that is, I mean, that was the real marketing system back in '85. So, and that's what taught me, you just got to be you and let people see your face. And it doesn't matter. Don't worry about what everybody thinks, because my spelling was never that good, neither was my grammar, but my bank book is surely growing.
Yeah. So my last question, and if we have time, we'll do a round on the panel. What advice in your industry right now would you give anyone who's looking to grow and scale their business?
I think not just my industry, but really any industry. What I see folks make mistakes on time and time again is get too focused on the next month, on the next 3 months. And it's like, actually, if you zoom out and you sit down and say, where do I want to be 5 years from now? Where do I want to, how do I get there on a year-by-year basis? How do I get there on a quarter-by-quarter basis? And you really make a multi-year plan, you'll be leagues ahead of everyone else. No one is doing this. Everyone, and especially like folks who are running their own businesses, you get so caught up sometimes running the day-to-day, trying to get that next win, that it could really is valuable to sit down and for just even an hour, a couple hours, and say, hey, where do I want to be a year from now? And really zoom out and do the macro. That's super important in our industry, because unfortunately in crypto, or fortunately, it's always getting charged pretty quickly. We're some of the more traditional organizations in the industry that zoom out. We've been around for 4 years. My background in the industry is 8 years. Like, I'm used to seeing these cycles, and I will say the winners are always the ones who plan for 5-10 years. The longer you plan, the more successful you're going to be by orders of magnitude.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect close to the panel. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Okay, so it's very, very important. I want to say a big, big thank you to everyone on the panel. Give them a big round of applause.